Hello everyone. Hype mode activated because we have had some new drops, and as always I like to summarize what we have heard. So in this stream of today we have heard of the mechanics of every family from New Capenna. We have once again seen the official release of the leaders of New Capenna, and all the commanders have been revealed, and a card, a Planeswalker card for Elspeth has been revealed as well. No new lore bits, so I will get the only one that we have gotten out of the way, which is that the Halo is actual essence of angels and not just a gift from them. So that's interesting. So let's go by them, starting with the brokers, and their mechanic is the shield counter. What this would do is if a permanent with such a counter would be destroyed, you may remove it instead. Well, you have to remove the shield counter. The same goes for damage as well. Here we see Disciplined Dualist, a 3 mana 2/1 with double strike, so it gets in for 4 damage, or it could first strike some creatures, which is also a big boon for a defender, for an attacker too. Broker's agents defend their charges by all means available, from intricate logic to blunt force trauma. Don't know why the trauma is there, but it's there. Then we have the leader of the brokers, Falco Spara, who we have already seen in one of the stories. It's a 3/3 flying trample. When they enter with a shield counter on it, so he is defended as well with his own mechanic. And you may look at the top card of your library any time. Then you may cast spells from there by removing a counter from a creature you control, in addition to paying the other costs of the card. So that's interesting, because then you can keep playing cards from the top of your library. Can be lands as well. Can't be lands, sorry, it's cast, the spell. So no lands, but other cards you can cast, and you only have to remove counters. Could be +1 counters, could be -1 counters as well, so that's interesting. Then we have some art. I've tried to screenshot those as well as I could too, and I at least managed to put one of the arts from each family in here. I thought this one was really cool, as it shows us what the brokers are about. They are about shielding, but they are also about breaking when it's necessary. Then we have the leader of the first story, actually. This is Perry, the boxer, or the pulverizer, as we can see here. He enters with a shield counter on it as well, and whenever he attacks, target creature you control gains trample and gets +X, where X is the number of different kinds of counters among permanents you control. So you want to have different kinds of counters. Can be +1s, can be -1s, can be trample counters, can be menace counters. So a little bit of the Ikoria synergy here as well. It's cool that this guy wants to buff the team, and also comes in as a 3/3 that is a little bit defended. Then we have some more art, this time from, I think, the Obscura, as we see the mist here and the symbol of them up above. We see a lot of people gathering, probably to exchange information. Because their mechanic is Connive. What it does is draw a card, then discard. So you loot, sort of. If you discarded a non-land card, you may put a +1 counter on this creature. So lands are still valuable, so you don't always want to discard them anyways. And if you have the riches, you can discard a creature to get a +1 counter on this flying creature. Which is very legit, as flying creatures with 2 power are massively more impactful than ones with 1. At least double. So here we see one art piece of the leader deflecting a fireball. Not very intricate as in the story, but it shows that our guy is protective of himself, at least. And here we see him with another shield, or it seems like a shield, but from the story we know that the Obscura use these magical screens to know what is happening in the city. This one, a 3 mana 1/4, but again, whenever you attack, target attacking creature connives. So you can choose one creature that connives. X, so X is the number of attacking creatures. So your whole team wants to strengthen one creature, and basically draw a lot of cards, then discard a lot of cards. So you filter through, know everything that is in your deck basically, and then grow one creature very strong. So that's cool. Here we see their leader of the commander deck, which is Camis Obscura Oculus. We have seen her in her own story as well, and here we see, well, why we have gotten all of those side stories. They are to promote the commander decks, of course. But this one says, whenever you attack, target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. Already pretty cool, I think. It connives, then choose another attacking creature with lesser power. It's really hard to read with the shiny parts. That creature gains double strike until end of turn. Okay, so but you did grow the creature, so it will be easier to give another creature double strike until end of turn. But interesting, as this Esper commander is based on combat. Here we see, here we're on to the Maestros, where we see a place where, well, everything is tinged with blood, as these are mostly vampires. And here we see an actual vampire. Lord Xander, I've heard a lot of memes about him that people are going to use this against one opponent, and I think that's correct, and you should do it that way most of the time. When he enters, target opponent discards half the cards in their hand, rounded down. When he attacks, defending player mills half of their library, so sort of Ulamog as well. And then when he dies, target opponent sacrifices half the non-land permanents they control, rounded down as well, so you don't get to all the way wipe someone or all the way mill someone, but you can deal a lot of damage. And the painful part about it is that it is not, it's not destroying one opponent. It's just hampering them a lot, and it will feel bad for them to choose all of their permanents that they want to sacrifice. So it's a little bit of an evil one, and we know that the Maestros choose to kill their opponents, their targets, in ways that is more about beauty, about style, than it is about actually doing it efficiently. So this fits the flavor very well. A little chat shows us a 2 mana instant where we see the mechanic of the Maestros, Casualty, where the number stands. I don't know. As you cast a spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 1 or greater. When you do copy this spell, I don't know what the number stands for, to be honest, but you can copy the spell once. Maybe that's the thing. Look at the top card, 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other on the bottom of your library. So you do filter and you sacrifice something, but then you get something back for it as well. You don't know what though, but probably something better, I hope for you. Here we continue and seeing that they deal with devils as well, and we see someone lifting a Halo Cup, which is a sign of strength on our world of New Capenna. And here we see the leader of the Maestro Commander deck as well, probably vampire themed a little bit, as judging from the left side art. This guy on Hello we have seen in the story already as well. The first instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn has Casualty 2, and here we can learn what it means. Oh, it means that you have to sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater, so the first one was 1 or greater because it was Casualty 1. Okay. But meaning that you can double the first spell, the first instant or sorcery every turn. That's interesting. He also has Death Touch, so he at least trades with one other guy. Here, I think we go on to the Riveteers, judging from this art. We see a big gun, we see a flamethrower, we see someone destroying a building, and he is a dragon, so probably a Riveteer. Yes, Ciatora, the leader of the Riveteers, and the Incinerator is a flying 6/6 for 6. That's already pretty good. Is a demon dragon as well, and at the beginning of your end step you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, Ciatora deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target, and you create 3 treasure tokens. So what do you want to do with her? Well, you want to sacrifice creatures again. Interesting that there are 2 color themes that are so closely related that do sort of the same thing, but this time it's not about instants or sorceries, it's about dealing damage equal to that creature's power. So sort of a fling ability to any target, and you create 3 treasure tokens. So that will help you replace the creature as well. You only need more draw in this, and black can do that pretty well. Then we see a legendary creature actually. We have seen this because it's the promo card of the big boxes, Jax's the Troublemaker. So Riveteers are all Troublemakers, so pretty fitting name. It shows us the mechanic of the creatures, which is Blitz, which helps you to give the creature haste immediately. But as you can see, it's cheaper, so there has to be a drawback, and in this case it is that when this creature dies, draw a card, but you also have to sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, and I think that's the biggest drawback. But you do sort of cycle the card, which makes it very interesting to me, because it's 2 mana, you get to attack in immediately with a 2/3, or you get to activate their ability, and then you draw a card. So it's a slow cycle, but it is still a cycle ability. Their ability is to discard a card, create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It also gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. So you sort of blitz 2, basically. And you have to sacrifice that one as well. So I think that's interesting. This guy, girl, I don't know, Jax's, really, it's a girl, right? I don't know, it shouldn't matter. But they double blitz, and they work together well with their family's ability. Then we have this beautiful art here, where we see someone with a big knuckle, and it is in the trope of people looking very in love at a handsome person. So that's basically what we're here for. Then the leader of their deck, which we haven't seen yet in a story that I have talked about, but he has been shown in a story already. This is the toolbox Tory, and Tory meaning some other stuff as well, where I come from, but well, here it just means that he has a lot of stuff, and with us it would mean sort of the same, but yeah. Each creature spell cast with a mana value 4 or greater has Blitz. The Blitz cost is equal to the target's card's mana cost. And then interestingly, Blitz costs all of them. You pay... Oh, Blitz costs you pay cost 1 less for each time you cast your commander from the command zone this game. So you have to track this anyways, and that's why it's from your command zone. That's why it says that, because otherwise you may do this a lot of times from your hand. And interestingly, this one works well with other commanders as well. Maybe you want to find one that you can cast really easily. Well, they have to be in these 3 colors, so it probably will be hard to find one that's easier to cast than Hansi himself. Then we go on to the cabaret, the people that lay around all day until there is a party. They love nature, they love certain kinds of plants. Jetmir, Nexus of Revels, loves the parties themselves. He is a 4 mana cat demon, and for 4 mana you get a 5/4, so already a big stat line, as Naya loves. He also grows creatures you control, so himself included. Creatures you control get +1/+0, so he comes in as a 6/4 actually, and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures, so it becomes 5/4 when he's the only one, but you probably have more small creatures, meaning that you probably will get him as a 6/4 vigilance when you play him. Could be that they get another +1 and another +1 when you have 6 or 9 creatures, and then at 6 creatures you give them trample, and at 9 you give them double strike, probably winning you the game, because you have all your creatures have trample and double strike, meaning that you can easily swing in for massive amounts of damage. If you play a token deck, then this is extra awesome because you will have a lot of 1/1s at first, but these will become 4/1 double strike tramplers immediately when Jetmir enters the party. So I love that. For him, Devilish Valet is a Cabaretti Devil Warrior, a 3-mana 1/3, but he doubles his power every time another creature enters the battlefield, showing that the Cabaretti really want to play with small creatures, or maybe tokens, because it's not non-token. He also has Trample and Haste, meaning that he can get in for a lot of damage, but you have to play a lot of other creatures with him. The flavor says that, well, people want to check weapons at the door for their parties. The commander of their deck is Kit Kanto. I think it's the singer from the story that we have already seen, meaning that we have only not seen one in well, my translations. When Kit enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. So she is a 3/3 plus a 1/1, and then at the beginning sorry of combat on each player's turn, you may tap 2 untapped creatures you control. When you do, target creature that player controls gets +2/+2, interestingly, and gains trample, so you grow another player's creature by a lot, but they also get goaded, meaning that they have to attack, but they have to attack another person. So interesting. She is a very defensive commander actually, as you want to have a lot of creatures up. But if you know that you cannot block a creature very well, you may as well tap 2 creatures of your own to make it goaded and let it grow in strength a lot to attack another person. Interesting and very political, so I love it. Wiretapping 5 mana enchantment, which shows that we have Hideaway again. This means that when an enchantment enters the battlefield, you may look at the top X, so in this case 5, cards of your library, exile 1 face down and put the rest on the bottom. And then the second ability has to do something with that. In this case, whenever you draw your first card during each of your draw steps, you draw a card. Then if you have 9 or more cards in hand, which is a lot to have, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. That last part being very important because, well, maybe you have a way at turn 6 in this case to have 9 cards, and then you can have a 10 mana card maybe into the bank. Beautiful picture right there. Choose up to 1 target creature. It says Elspeth Resplendent, a 5 mana planeswalker with this beautiful art here, of which we will see more versions a little bit later. This one from Anna Steinbauer. But choose up to 1 target creature. You don't have to pick them, and then you can get a +1 loyalty counter on Elspeth herself, and you may put a +1 counter and a counter from among flying, first strike, lifelink, or vigilance on it, working very well with the, I don't know which one wanted, no, it's the broker one, I think, that wanted different kinds of counters on it. So weird that she works well with that one instead of the Maestro one. Not very flavorful here, but it's cool that you can grow a creature but also make it very strong over the course of 3 or 4 turns. Then her -3. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a permanent card with a mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield with a shield counter on it, so it's protected as well. Showing that this one really works with the brokers and not with the maestros, which is again a major flavor loss. Put the rest on the bottom of your library randomly. And her -7 lets you create angels, which might be a flavor win with flying. So might be a flavor win. I don't know how well Elspeth is related to these angels, but she has remembered them even though she has not remembered a lot of other things from her past. So it must be important. Here we see the other arts showing the styles that we will see. I personally like the borderless one the most, but the art deco is a thing that the wizards were most proud of, so interesting. I do love that she wears the same dress that she has only gotten from her leader once and was planning to wear once only, so that's cool to me. Here we see something interesting. This card will have different types of art for every region, they said. I think it's continent maybe. North America will get this one, Gala Greeters, 2 mana, Elf Druid, 1/1. Alliance, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. That hasn't been chosen this turn. So interestingly, you can do all 3 once per turn. You may create a tapped treasure token, which you have to tap to use, but that is already very strong. Every turn getting a treasure token can ramp you very fast. But you can also grow this creature, which is also strong, because you can very easily do this. Or you gain 2 life, which is an evergreen option that you will never use. Maybe if you have a lot of creatures to play. These cards we have already seen, but here we see the art deco versions actually of the leaders, and I think I love those versions, some of them at least. I think I love Chatmere the most in this one because of his Big Daddy status here, so I think that's really fitting for the guy. And we have gotten our Urbrask. Here he is, the 5 mana mythic 4/4 with haste, already pretty good stat line. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Pretty okay. I think it's not game winning, so it's like one of the worst Praetors ever. But at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, they don't get to draw, but they get to do the same thing as you do extra every turn, which is draw a card this turn. Which is instead they exile the top card of their library, they may play it this turn. Meaning that they won't get the long game extras, and meaning that you can very easily shut down control. But it is a bit of a hate card, and I think therefore it's specific. But a fun card to play nonetheless, so it will see a lot of play anyways. And with that, we have come to the end. I hope I have done this fast enough and shown you the most interesting pieces of this stream. And with that, I wish you a very pleasant, maybe, evening today. Well, bye.